helping people integrate themes.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So I'm happy to drive it. I don't know that I know how yet, but I can certainly start thinking about it and ask God for help.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see, we probably already have an Etherpad for pathways. Um, I would say like that list is a good start, and I would want to just sort of throw them into appropriate Etherpads, either a single one for pathways or having, I know Will made up Etherpads for each different project. So whether we want to have a single pad for pathways or want to have pathways on the pad for the project, and then just um, take these bullet points and fill out what information is missing that people would need. Um, and then get feedback asking people, okay, so here's this list of tasks, what info is missing for you to use it?
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we started a Pathways pad way back on my first meeting.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. It's called volunteer positions.
Oh yeah, that one was monitoring volunteers because I started out the one URL. Um, we have potential contribution sources.
Okay, look, so I'll go through the list of all the paths. I'll post something with all the paths we're talking about it, and I'll collapse them into one.
Yeah.
We'll start doing there. There's a bunch of paths that were on the same topic.
Yeah, I would make a new pad. I don't see one that would be good to reuse.
Okay, I got that.
Yeah. Yay. Was there anything else you wanted to do on with that in the meeting, or you'll start the pad and put it to discourse, and we'll start hacking on it that way?
I don't think we need to talk about it more. I think these pathways are still the ones I feel are right. Let me think about it some. I'll post something to discourse. This might turn into a blog post that we can point out to at some Monday meeting. Like I think the end result is something that we can point potential volunteers to learn more about what we're doing. I still think there's some scaffolding we need to build up first.
Yeah.
But we could talk about this and get people interested in helping build the scaffolding.
Yeah, and that'll having these points will make it easy for us to say to quantify what's blocking each opportunity.
Yep. Okay.
All right, sounds good. This isn't on the agenda, but you mentioned blog, and this was on the agenda before. So I'm going to throw it on again. We don't have a blog for the team, and as part of community building, we probably should.
Yeah, I don't know the status of WordPress. If it's done or ready to start using it, like it's production, we understand how it fails and all their stuff. I absolutely agree. We don't really have a homepage, right?
We, I believe we have a blog. We've got the issue with security at the moment with WordPress. We haven't got any response about security.
Well, actually, I've been trying to get a hold of Yvonne, who's on the security team, and he said it's in their queue to take a look at the plugins we need reviewed for WordPress. But until we do that, I don't want to use it in a production environment.
So this is WordPress multi-site. We're talking about waiting until that's up and then putting a blog on that?
Correct.
Okay. And should we do that, or should we start a blog and move it to multi-site when it's ready?
The start of blog where?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that we need a block on that. If we have a clever domain name, we could start doing it now. I think I would, yeah. I think we need a theme that represents, that feels like a Mozilla theme.
The one Mozilla theme, maybe.
All right, so URLs. I know we have some. Where would we? Do we have one that would suit and throw on /blog?
We
Well-
could maybe do like it.mozilla community. I'm not
Well-
sure if that would be a good fit, but
Right now, I have blog.communitysysadmins.org mapped to a blog on multi-sig. So we could just point it to something else for the moment.
I think that's fine. I think we just need a theme.
You mean like CSS or like for the content?
We need a WordPress theme that
Okay.
when you go to it, looks like a Mozilla thing, like it's related to Mozilla, right? So if it's the one Mozilla theme, perfect. Right now, it doesn't look like anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's throw up the one Mozilla theme, and then we can always figure out something. Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, and then we can always customize it later. All right, so
Yeah, so I think I would focus less on the domain name. The one that's currently working is sufficient. I would focus more on the blog and content. I think the reality is people are going to be aware of this blog through Planet.
And I'll remember, I'm just looking at them, community sysadmins. I mean, people are going to go to blog.communityit or something, but community sysadmins is going to be easier to remember than ones with the dashes. And then the content should be able to pull stats. I really like, I've said this before, how the add-ons blog has a bunch of stats, like stuff in the queue, how many were submitted, how many were approved, time. We should already be able to pull stats at least from Fabricator, if nothing else. Like, you know, how many bugs we're fixing, how many communities we're hosting. And that can be the base content for the blog. It's just some real digestible, skimmable info, and then throw in, if we do something interesting, throw in an actual update on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will start an action. I will start a conversation on what kind of stats would be good content for the blog. And then I guess someone needs to file a Fabricator thing for installing the One Mozilla theme.
that actually is already probably installed on multi-site. I'm not sure that's kind of Logan's domain.
Right, we still need a task tracking item for put the theme on.
Oh, yeah.
The one Mozilla theme? No.
2 action items out of 1. Okay, so I think that's good. We can move on. I'm going to come back around to this one, but I'll tell you what it is for those of you who aren't in the channel. The community hosting needs to be renewed, and so Arzal came to us yesterday asking for help in figuring out who is on what server, and so we'll do this at the end of the meeting because we're going to sprint and fill out the information.
Arzal's actually made a absolutely brilliant start to it. I think he's done most of it actually.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it.
Yeah, I took a peek at, I linked it in the notes to, I saw that you guys added pages to our sheet, added sheets to our sheet. I don't know what the spreadsheet terminology is, but yeah, it looked really good. But let's come back.
sheet is called a workbook, and the things on the tab are called worksheets.
Aha. Cool. So future direction, do we still need to cover that, or did we handle that with the community building?
I think a little bit. I think that when I started talking to people about what the best use for a community IT ops team was, it was around providing a platform.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think that that's an interesting way to empower. So I thought about this earlier today, but this is probably leads into the contribution pathways, right? I think WordPress is a great platform. I think a Cloud Foundry or a Heroku-like thing would help actually help the community. Like we're providing now a platform for people to do development on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that loops back to people who are on the community building team were really interested about having a group to a module and then groups under it that provide services to local community sites, and that ties in.
Yeah, and
Okay.
like discourse is the platform, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think these one-off things we're doing around badge, that's not really a platform. It's poorly maintained. The Spire bot's going to be poorly maintained. It's like one guy, it breaks. No one's going to know how to fix it. So I have to pop off, but I think you guys got my notes. I have my action.
Okay.
Right, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. This didn't get captured in the action items. But one of the things we should do, I mentioned last meeting, is that we need to start getting focused on actually, like getting tasks done and being more organized. So could somebody own, we need to use Fabricator more, and we should also bring up in meetings, someone should go through any Fabricator issues and look for ones that are stuck. So we don't need to know about every single issue, but ones that need, hey, this is blocking, or this has been sitting for a while, or, highlight urgent ones. So basically a project manager type.
I mean,
No one volunteered.
I can volunteer.
Sure, that would be great. And then that would also, having a new person do it also kind of helps them get familiar with what we're working on and who's working on what. I couldn't possibly volunteer for it because most of the tasks are going to be over my head, and it will just be a bunch of, hey guys, explain this to me, which won't be as useful.
So like, where do I find the guidelines, or do I just come up with those on my own? Like, check it once a week, or like how long a ticket?
Well, yeah, because
Okay.
we have weekly meetings.
Okay.
So yeah, a little administrative, but then you can help make sure any action items that should be in Fabricator get put into Fabricator, and I don't know if you guys can give more advice on any sort of reports. That would be good to have. All right. So any progress on any of the main modules: Discourse, Asinga, Puppet, Fabricator, WordPress multi-site?
Well, for Asinga, the other day Dimitri asked if we could monitor. This isn't really a big update, but he asked if we could monitor Mozilla Romania's website. I managed to add that, make it so that if there are notifications for that site, it only notifies him. That still goes through VictorOps and everything. So it seems like community monitoring might be a little bit more viable than I thought before. So
Nice.
that might be something to look into at some point.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you went about doing this, did you make any Fabricator issues, or did you just set it up for him?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Also, with community monitoring, so if we're going to go ahead and monitor more websites like that, we need to talk to VictorOps, because I believe when we signed up, we said that it was going to be no more than 10 people,
Yeah.
things like that. So we should probably reach out to them and make sure that it's fine with them before we...
Yeah, I don't know if we should use VictorOps for everything, but right now I just gave Dimitri an account on it because it's one person.
I mean, I definitely think that we should probably use VictorOps for everything. It's a really cool tool, and it's probably the most efficient and easy way of doing anything. Because otherwise we have to go into Nagios and create users for everybody. But we definitely do need to speak to them a bit more about our sponsorship with them, because there hasn't been much follow-up from that.
So this actually is a really good segue. I know you guys have noticed me asking this a bunch. We have to work as a team. Part of the skills building is giving you the skills to work, do this as a job. And you couldn't possibly do this as a job by just doing stuff as soon as someone asked you, without documenting, without, there have to be processes, and I know they can be annoying and seem like they get in the way. But that's just how it has to work, because that's how it works best. So for requests like this, we need processes. So at worst case, you're not here, there's a problem, someone realizes that Dimitri has this access or whatever, and so how are they supposed to know when this happened, why it happened, why he has the access, how did you even give him the access, how would they go about fixing a problem?
Document all the things.
Right, and it can be as simple as, like, you don't have to write blog posts or wiki pages. If we put everything through Fabricator and say, Dimitri asked me for this, so I'm giving him this, that's enough. And then people can find it and we can ask for more. But it's also very important that if we don't have a process for something, then you don't do it. You have to ask the group, is this something we do? And how do we go about doing it? It's okay to just do stuff if we've already talked about it and established this is when we do it and this is when we don't do it. And so that's my discourse post about updates, and I understand that there has to be a slightly different process for things that are urgent, but there needs to be a process for things that are urgent. At the very least, after you do something, it has to go out somewhere on discourse meeting notes.
Do we currently have Fabricator set up to receive inbound email?
I'm not actually sure. I'll look at that.
Because I think there's a way that we could actually set up inbound email and allow it to create tickets. So, like, for instance, if Dimitri wants monitoring, you could say, okay, send an email to tickets at this address, and it will open a ticket. That way, you know, whoever's requesting the service is self-documenting, and then you can go in and just note that ticket once you've done it. So you don't have to create the ticket, somebody else does.
I think at one point we did, but a lot of things have changed when Will moved it over, so I'm not sure if we do right now, but I would have that as something. I'll make a task.
And this is a cool idea, right? Like, this would be very cool. It's a cool service to provide. You know, people already said that. But then people already raised, well, is this within the acceptable agreement with VictorOps?
True.
So. So I think our overall goals going forward for the short term are building out contribution paths, building out processes, and then working on the actual tasks. You know, getting focused, not just focusing on process and the stuff I'm good at, but actually using the process and the pathways to get stuff done. So if we look at Fabricator right now, I guess I click on Manifest. That's the tasks and bugs. And then I can click All Tasks or no Open Tasks. And there's also a Reports button. So how many open tasks are in Fabricator right now?
10, 16, 18, 19.
Okay. And are we using this? Like, are people going through and checking for their tasks and then finding more tasks?
It looks like a lot of these are, some of them at least, are pretty old and they might have even been done. So I don't think we're really using it like we should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be my only complaint about Fabricator that I've brought up with other people is that the details are very sparse in the tickets, so it's hard to know what's going on or whether it's like overcome by events or whatnot.
And I mean, you mean when people are filling out the Fabricator tasks, they're not adding a lot of info.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to just
Okay.
go in and say, hey, I want to work on this because
Mm-hmm.
there's not enough detail in there.
Right, and that's something, that's good feedback, and that's something we'll get better at, because we've kind of sort of been all over. We're in Fabricator, we're in meetings, we're in Etherpads, we're in Discourse, and we just need to get our bearings and get some processes down and start following them. And I'm wondering if, so here's the thing, some of the stuff we're doing in Discourse, should it be done in Fabricator? Like some of these discussions, we're using Discourse as discussion. How do we tie that back into Fabricator? And I know we're using Discourse because Discourse is public.
Cat.
One little thing that maybe we could do is, like, you know what the one boxes are on Discourse?
Sorry?
On Discourse there are, like, I don't think I've ever seen them used on ours, but let me find an example. One sec. Like what I just posted on IRC, we could maybe use that to like get even a little bit of basic information in threads from Fabricator. I'm not sure if that would be all that useful.
Yay.
Yeah, I think I'm more concerned right now. That would be good. Kind of like how Firebot gives you the summary. I'm more concerned right now about making sure that tasks that come out of discussions actually end up in the task tracker.
Oh.
So I'm more concerned about the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
But that might just be a matter of getting in the habit of saying, I'll create the Fabricator issue task for that. And I can start, when I'm assigning action items in meetings, I can start saying, like I did, someone filed a Fabricator ticket for that. and we'll just get in the habit of working that way. And that's definitely, I'm sure it's a lot my fault because I haven't been working with Fabricator and I've been driving the meetings.
It's okay.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, so looking at the Fabricator tasks, does anyone see anything that jumps out as needing attention, or I'm going to take this, or anything like that?
I don't know. I can't see anything yet. I'm still waiting to be added.
You should be able to. None of our bugs are private. I don't think. Let me figure out how to look. Oh, did you verify your email?
Maybe not. Let me check it.
It says you're unverified, so you might have to do that first.
I just created a list of tickets that haven't been updated since March. Would that be helpful for you guys?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be great.
I just took a screenshot and I'm pasting it in the community IT room.
Okay.
So if everyone can just take a look.
And there must be, I see the reports button, so there's probably a way to like save a search or something like that. Okay, so I'll move on from this, but you guys this week try and work in Fabricator more, take time to go through and triage some of the issues and update them. And maybe we need to sometimes, maybe triage needs to be a part of regular meetings. I'm not sure. We'll see where that happens. But first, we can come back to that this meeting. But first, let's look at the spreadsheet for the community community hosting inventory, because Arzal needs that right away.
Okay, I'm going to restart Firefox since Google Docs isn't playing nice, so I'll be right back.
All right.
It looks sunny there in Canada. You guys need to send some sun down to Portland.
No, we're keeping it. You have an ice storm. You can have some.
It's supposed to rain.
Yeah, we had a bunch of rain. It's finally nice and sunny and warm.
I don't know, though. They say we're going to have a record summer as far as heat goes. This doesn't sound fun. I need to move further north.
Might not help. Okay, well, let's, the spreadsheet's pretty self-explanatory, so let's take a look at it. I'll drop the link in IRC in case you didn't grab it from the meeting notes. So Logan, what do we need? What info is missing?
From what?
From Arzal's sheet. What does he need?
He marked certain rows as red because he couldn't tell what sites were running on those servers.
Okay.
So I did some like reverse IP searching, and I found the websites on some of them, but some of them don't appear to be hosting any domain.
Okay.
So when they're not hosting anything, we just need to put something in there so people know that they can be decommissioned.
I can't really hear Ted.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Oh, sorry, I was on the other side of the room. So basically, there's there's probably quite a few that have been set up but nobody ever uses or has ever installed anything on. So we can just decommission those.
But it would be good to know for sure. Like, can you trace these back to see why, when they were created?
We can.
There's only 2 left that are red.
I can do a book search for them.
Or if someone has root access, they could look and see
No.
if there are any.
Nobody has access.
Wait, so we own them, but we don't have access?
This is correct.
That's good. This is why we should puppetize everything we own.
And that's what I was thinking. We should actually just run the basic puppet on everything.
I agree.
I mean,
File of
Well,
fabricator task.
we don't have to run puppet on like their users. They can go ahead and create their own users, but we should definitely make it so the community IT team can access stuff.
OpenStack. We should run OpenStack.
We have OpenStack. It's HP.
That's true. But
Which
HP
one
doesn't run a. They don't run a vanilla OpenStack infrastructure. Theirs
No,
is
they run
slightly.
HP Helium public cloud.
Yeah.
We also don't quite have the physical hardware.
I mean, you can
True.
you can get us some free hardware if you like.
I actually have a 2U server that we could drop into a data center if somebody wants to colo us for free.
Actually, Mozilla might. Quite seriously, we were talking about this a couple of months ago. They're talking about co-locating for community.
Yeah.
Alright, so is someone on? Is Tad or. Because it's only the 2, so I guess we don't need to all look this up.
One not really related to anything question. Why are some of the bugs private? Like, let me find one. I think, like, I know a lot of them are private to either reps or community IT, but I can't get into some of these bugs, and I have both reps and community IT.
Oh, sometimes they're marked as community IT admins. If you need access to those, I can find. If you give me a bug ID, I can CC you.
I was just curious. That I don't think I need it, but
I've got no idea why they're Mozilla Reps admins. They should just be Mozilla Reps.
Here's a good question that I should probably ask regularly in the meeting. Does anyone need something to do? Or does anyone need help with something they're already doing?
I could do with delegating some sort of task to somebody, but I've got absolutely no time at the moment. So,
Ted, what about the Puppet issue that's preventing us from running the agent on any of the servers?
yeah, I need to talk to Jabber about that. He hasn't responded to my ping yet, so
Could you email him?
I'll send him an email, but normally he responds to pings eventually.
Is there a fabricator task for that?
Yes. I assigned it
Awesome.
to Ted.
Okay.
You sent
Which
me
one
something?
is it?
And or something.
So yeah, Tad, if you have a bunch of stuff, start a discourse thread and say, does anyone want to help with blah? And then that makes it easy for me if someone else is asking me, oh, what can volunteers do? I can be like, oh, well, hey, we need some help with
Well, see,
Isn't that?
a lot of the tests that I do are at privileged levels. Like, I have
Mm,
to assign commissions for them, so they're not really contribution pathways at the moment.
darn. Well, it's still good. Toss it out on Discourse when you need to, because someone can
Okay, yeah, I'll put
pick
it
it
on
up.
Google.
But if there's anything time sensitive, so if you need to say, hey guys, I don't have enough time to do this thing this week and it needs to be done, call
Well,
that out.
there's definitely one thing, and maybe someone might be interested in doing it. There's a few emails on Google, no, on Plesk that I wanted to move to Google Apps because basically Plesk keeps getting marked as spam. So it makes sense to move to Google Apps. So if anybody has the time to go ahead and create accounts and move mail using their POP import tool, that would be great.
Sorry, why did you want to move them?
Well, basically they keep getting marked as spam,
Okay.
and we have no control over that because as soon as something goes wrong with one of our sites, it destroys all of them.
Okay.
So me and Artel decided that it makes sense to move them to Google Apps.
Okay, do you have a fabricator task for that?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't see. So if you want to make one and include the reasoning there, that's the kind of documentation and talking about that it would be really good and really good to share.
See, I think we need to get Raymo approval for this, so we probably need to put this through Bugzilla as well.
Right, but you can put that in the fabricator task as well. You know, check marks. Check with Remo. You know.
There's a form. Is there a form for creating forms?
You're getting really quiet again, so
Sorry,
can't
I
really
keep
hear
moving
you.
my chair backwards and then.
So you probably you you might want to first off email council rather than filing a bug to let
Right.
them know what you're trying to do and why if you need
So,
approval.
well, if I just file a bug, then it's just Nikos has to say yes, and then it's fine, basically.
No.
That's always the case.
No, the community IT policy doesn't cover this kind of thing. It just covers like
Because realistically, I think that this is kind of our thing. Once Raymo's approved it, we're down to we're the people who decide what communities are using, what their tools are. But Dimitri said just to make sure that just to get a second opinion on whether the budget should be spent, we should probably.
yeah. No, I would email council, or if you file a bug, but it should probably go to council.
Well, I can just file a bug and
Yeah.
assign it to reps-council.
Okay.
Because we like to
Sounds
have fun
good.
for everything.
Yes. What's that for? Okay. I got a reminder for something tomorrow, and it freaked me out for a second because I was like, wait. That's today. No, it's tomorrow. Okay, anyone else working on anything or planning on making need to make changes or trying something new or
I was thinking. Yeah, go on.
Hmm.
You go first.
You can go.
Okay. I was thinking about maybe including a story about community IT in the in one of the next about Mozilla newsletters. When we have a plan on what to do with new people, like when we have actual pathways, we could write a small text about what we are, who we are, what we do, and what others can do. And I guess it would definitely help us finding more new people. I bet there are a few who are interested out of these 60K people or so. So, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a good idea. We just need to wait until we have the pathways and stuff ready.
Yep.
Right, Tanner, you were gonna go?
Yeah, so um uh like what should we do about scheduling maintenance times and stuff like that? Because this course is regularly updated and like we can't just decide to do it sometime. So how like how should we decide when's a good time and how do we announce it?
So for deciding when, I guess discourse would be a good place to discuss it. And this is where it gets a little confused because this could be a Phabricator task, and then wouldn't we discuss it on Phabricator? But yeah, we should discuss with whoever's involved. Set a time, make sure it's scheduled, and the team knows that it's scheduled.
Okay. A while back, I think this was on Discourse, at least Logan and I kind of decided that 10 p.m. Central on Saturdays worked for us. I'm not sure if that works for other people. So I'll make a thread or bump the old one if there is one.
Yeah, that's a good idea, and I would say we need MRZ's advice unless someone else is on the call who's used to working with scheduled maintenance windows. I don't know what the best practices are for making sure that people, like where to post the schedule, I assume on the wiki, how to remind people when the maintenance is going to happen, and how to let people know what's changing.
So I know at Mozilla what they do is they always put it on a website, status.mozilla.it's either org.com. They've got different applications on both which do different things. And it also makes sense to put it in the topic of the IRC channel. Because that would be naturally the first place that anybody who knows us will go to find out what's going on.
And I blog up, that's also, I guess we should have that on our blog and have a category for it.
Is there anyone actually writing any blog posts right now?
No, not yet. We've just decided to use the blog, the URL we have. We're going to put a theme up, and then we're going to start actually having content. So.
Right, I can maybe help out with writing them if you want me to.
I've actually got a blog post that needs to be written once WordPress is working if you wanted to do that.
Oh, Max CDN. Yeah, and how
Yep,
good are you at kissing ass with the company?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
I
need to
didn't get
advertise.
the last part.
We need to advertise Max CDN in a blog post.
Uh,
Didn't MRC kind of say talk with marketing, I think, with some team about co-branding like that, because
yeah.
we definitely need to make sure Mozilla's okay with having their name alongside something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I still didn't get your last part, Tad. I'm not used to that accent.
Oh,
Yeah, what are we talking about? Co-branding and advertising what?
So,
Max CDN.
yeah, so Community IT reached out to Max CDN, which is a content delivery network.
Okay.
And one of their requirements is to have a logo and co-branding, but we haven't necessarily cleared that with marketing or legal.
Okay, and when and why and who reached out?
Now, mind you, I told you that this was going to be an issue, so I'm hiding now.
We spoke to them about 3 months ago now, and at that point they just said, yeah, you can do this. All they want is a blog post and a little footer link saying this blog is powered by Max CDN.
That wasn't what I asked.
Question.
Is
Just
all
what's
the news
just
dot
what's the
org
history?
owned by-
What's the history? What do we need from them? Why did we reach out to them? What would we do?
I can explain. Basically, we didn't want to put our images and theme content locally. We want to put it on a CDN so it's delivered quickly.
Fast like a cheetah.
Okay. So Ted said he knew like the VP at Max CDN, and then Ben was like he knows the president, so everyone knows everyone, whatever. So anyway, we got sponsorship from them in exchange for writing
Pimping ourselves.
in the footer, basically, but writing in the footer powered by Max CDN with a link to them, and also writing a blog post praising them and bowing down to them and stuff. So that's basically the deal.
Okay, so is there a fabricator task or a discourse thread about this?
Maybe.
Okay, so someone, if there isn't one, file one. Explain the history, what we need them for, what we would do, what they want in return, and who we have to check with so we can start tracking the progress of this.
Well, who do we have to check with? That's been my question for.
Yeah, I would, so marketing and legal. I would probably start with marketing. But when you make the, sorry guys, I'm quitting apparently. My brain has had enough meeting. When you bump the discourse thread or make the fabricator ticket, let me know, and then I can help pick specific people to ask.
I mean, the other solution would be to use Akamai or whatever Mozilla uses, but they'd have to let us use that. So I don't know what kind of agreement they'll have with them.
Yeah, so throw that in whatever thing you're using to track it, and then
It'd be quite difficult for us to use Mozilla's content delivery network simply because it's with a partner, and then there's all sorts of issues with community and partners because it's for Mozilla Corporation. and Mozilla Corporation can't legally have volunteers, so.
Which is so... Right, I pointed that out to someone and they need to follow up, but the reps agreement is with Moco. I don't think we've changed that, so...
I actually think, they approve budget, don't they? Money is an asset, and that becomes illegal.
And as Tanner pointed out, we could also use Amazon CloudFront, but that's through Mofo, so that would be approved by JP. So yeah.
I have one more question to Tad. If you
Battle.
I told me that I should add a MaxCDN logo to the bottom of the page, and I was thinking that we could maybe do it like we already do on opennews.org. We have this nice footer which says about Mozilla with our logo that shortly explains what we are, who we are, what we do, and stuff. And next to it there is another similar box which says what the Knight Foundation is, and we could take that idea and do the same, except we could replace the Knight Foundation stuff with MaxCDN to explain what that is and why we need it.
And you think that could probably, or possibly replace a blog post if we just include that at the bottom of each page?
No, it doesn't replace the blog post, that's the footer link.
Well, let's wait and make sure that we get approval for this agreement and make sure that there's not any blockers, and then we can figure that out. But I mean, that sounds like it'll look nice.
I mean, worst case scenario, we don't use this TCN because we have shared storage. It just might be a bit slower.
Well, what they did with WebMaker, because WebMaker is Foundation, is instead of going through the hoops of using Mozilla's CDN, which is Akamai, they paid for an account with a CDN provider just for WebMaker. So.
Okay, well, it's after 4, I gotta drop off, and my son locked my daughter out of the house. So, but yeah, let's try and get more stuff in Fabricator and try and have a more focused meeting next time. You guys need to have like updates and stuff to say. But good work, and I'll talk to you next time.
Hey, Tanner, I had a question.
Yeah.
So if we're using VictorOps, what was all the talk about PagerDuty and stuff?
I am not sure. That was a while ago, so I don't... For a while, MRC was paying for PagerDuty, but we weren't using it, so we canceled. Now we're using VictorOps because they're kind of sponsoring us, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
They're not sponsoring us, they're unofficially renewing our trial. We're trying to get sponsorship still. I'm waiting for a response from somebody.